Hey YouTubers, Sensei 111 coming to a budget reloader or Sensei 111. I'm not sure what channel I'm putting this on. I just want this to inform all CZ Scorpion owners. There you go, CZ Scorpion owners, of an issue I had that you may have with your bolt. And I couldn't find much information online about it. And the guys at Scorpion USA Warranty took care of me. But I just want to caution you, when cleaning your gun, do not put any bending force on this part here. And this part is actually two parts. It's known as the buffer, part 36 in your book. And this is the rear locking stud. It shows to be two parts, but it's sold as one part, delivered as one part. You're not going to get that apart, and I'll show you why. This is roll pinned to the recoil guide rod and is under spring tension when it's out of the gun. When it's in the gun, there's not much tension on that pin because it's constrained. It's just under pressure against the inside of the gun. It's when it's out it's most vulnerable. And what happened to me, and this is a soft, flexible rubber part. This is a hard plastic plate. And this is what broke the little stud here with the roll pin hole that holds it into the guide rod, the recoil spring guide rod. So it comes together like this. There's a stud. And I was doing something I shouldn't have been and snapped that puppy off. Spring came out. I got nothing. And, you know, again, we're talking about these parts right here. And they show as two parts. In my book, that's 36 and 37. Buffer and rear locking stud. In my book, there's a dash. In the manual that came with the gun. You'll have to trust me on this. This was printed off of the online copy of the manual. There was no name for that. Turns out if you just ask for the buffer, you're going to get this whole assembly here. I was lucky I got it. I mean, it was warranted. It's under warranty. They shipped it to me free. They had a hard time finding it when I was giving them the part list numbers and so forth. They don't stock every part of this gun in the U.S. And there's some assembly to this gun done in the U.S. for 992R compliance, and they ship the guns and the parts, and all those parts are for guns, so they don't have a lot of extra parts for warranty and repair that they can ship right away. They have to order them from CZ in Europe. The reason you can't separate this is it has these 4 little rubber pins in each corner, and then this one big plug that actually fits in this hole opposite of this stud. So it goes, this goes against the back of the gun, and this soft rubber piece is what is the buffer part that absorbs that blow from the back of the bolt here. So this is a composite part, but I don't know if you can see, there's a little slight, there you go. That's a little rubber portion right there, and then 4 little rubber keepers in the corners, and there's no way to get them off short of maybe boiling this in water to get it softer or something. But you know, don't try and take that apart, you'll ruin it. Be very careful handling your bolt assembly when it's out of the gun. Any kind of force, I mean, I think I was exercising the spring or something, you know, and you can push this and turn it and lock that. I don't know what that does. You can oil this or whatever, but don't, be very careful with this part here, because if it breaks, yeah, you can get it replaced. You won't be able to put your gun back together without it unless you're real creative. And actually you can, I did take the roll pin and I drove it in there just shy of flush, and it held the spring back, and I was able to put this part in separately to the gun and then put this in afterwards, and actually shot it and it functioned fine. But unless you can do that, you're going to have a down gun until you get this part and get it installed. And you have to be very careful how you install it so as not to put any force on that little this little plug here when you're hammering in that roll pin. If you have it, if it's not resting on the guide rod, if it's resting on this, you'll probably break that off again. So be very careful. If you're not sure you can do that, and it does break on you, just send the whole bolt in and let them install it. And they did indicate they would. They asked me if I was comfortable installing it, and I said yes. And but if you're not, say, yeah, I'd like to ship it in and have it installed. So there's that. I don't know how often this occurs, but it happened to me, and I just figured it could happen to others. It was one other guy talked about a lot of polishing on the face and these rails. This is all from just normal wear. I don't have, this front face is not polished. I did do one thing, is I radius this area, and you have to be very careful, but I did so because of this marring of the hammer as it comes back to cock it. And I took pictures and sent it in to CZ USA, and they said, nah, that's normal. It happens. So I don't know how long that's going to stay like that, or, it's really kind of marred up. That's my one little beef, but otherwise I love shooting this gun. You can see I got some of the HBI trigger and magazine release stuff and everything, so I did that in another video. But anyway, that's my spiel. Thanks for watching. I'm not doing this to generate any kind of following or anything. You can like it or not like it, I don't care. Comment if you have other observations or similar observations, but please don't complain, because I'll pretty much ignore it. I'm just passing along some information to share with the community. Thanks.